let's focus a little bit more on these thumbnails. Now, we can't live without them, obviously. And what we have is a small image and the name underneath it. And there's a lot of things we can do once we've established that, but that's all we've got. Now, we know we can make them bigger or smaller by coming down to this little slider right down here and increasing or decreasing the size. That's nice, but you can't see very many at that size. So I usually keep them pretty small because anytime I want to actually see one, all I have to do really is click on it over here and it'll appear here. So I really don't need these that big, and that's cool. So I'm happy with them that way. But there's other ways that we can work. We know that if we click these buttons up here, we're changing the physical workspace itself. I like Filmstrip a lot. Let's go back to Essentials. These buttons down here perform a different service. Now there's 4 of them, these 4 right down here. What they do is they allow us to change the thumbnails without physically changing the workspace. The first one, for example, this one right here is a list view. It shows us very small images, but it gives us the name and it tells us the sort order, name, date created, size. That arrow means the sort is by name and it's ascending. This is the one area where we can change sort without going, say, to the pull-down menu or right-clicking. We can actually do it right here. We want the largest ones, we can click right here, or we can click back on name. It's up to you. The idea, though, is we have the ability to do a quick sort by going to the list. Notice nothing else has changed, though. If we go to the next one, we get more information. So we have a little bit more information on what they are, when they were created. Sort will be my default sort by name. The next one is the one we're used to, and that's the thumbnails the way we've seen them, which is nice. I use this one most of the time, I would say. The next one actually puts them into a defined grid. So each image is kind of locked inside of that rectangle. Those 4 buttons down there allow me to change my thumbnails without actually changing anything else. Let's do one more thing. Let's go ahead and first put this back the way it was when we started. Let's come over here and go into Preferences. Again, if you're working on a Mac, go to the name Adobe Bridge CS5. If you're working in Windows, then go to the word Edit and down to Preferences. Inside of your preferences, what I want you to do is go to the word Thumbnails. Now, don't worry about that processing thing. We'll talk about that later. Let's look at this down here, Details. Right now, we see the name, and that's all. And that's cool. But if you want to, you could also say show the date that it was created. Now, not just the date, but also the time. Or you could say, give me the sizes, or you could do both date and size if you wanted to. If you want to change to something else, you have a lot of different things that you can choose, even author or keywords. The idea, though, is I do like this because it gives me the ability to choose the information that I feel I need up there to make the proper selection. So we go to Preferences to make that happen. So thumbnails, we look at them. Sometimes maybe we take them for granted. But don't forget, you can modify and change them to fit more what you want rather than what Adobe thought you wanted.